So now to jump into California. Before we do that, you are a committee member for CFCA. So you were very much involved in the summit. You're also a member of the Clean Fuels Alliance of America, which deals with the renewable diesel, biodiesel, ethanol, and even SAF market as well. So very knowledgeable when it comes to California, when it comes to clean fuels. So we're just now getting out of the CFCA annual trade show, and there's been a lot going on in the industry. So I want to kick it off with, before we get into some of that information, what does CARB stand for? Why should we be concerned with it?
Sure. CARB. It's the California Air Resources Board. I believe it actually started in 1967. It was formed under Governor Reagan. And it basically was to help with air quality, human health issues. It actually, I believe, it merged two departments at that time and put them into one. And so they kind of, they regulate our fuels, a lot having to do with air quality. And CARB, it definitely has some certain specific rules that we have to abide by.
So it's essentially, it's an acronym. When you hear CARB, it's California Air Resource Board. And with that comes a whole set of rules that you have to abide by if you're dealing with fuels in California.
Yes.
And I think the intention was admirable.
Sure. Absolutely.
Everybody wants clean air. Everybody wants clean water, right? But you also want a modern way of life, and energy has to be affordable and reliable. So trying to, I think the dichotomy of that issue is not simple. It's a complex problem to solve. But very much like California, I think they go too far with their regulatory environment. And what it's done is, in my opinion, it's essentially created California as an island.
It is a fuel island, absolutely.
We do business, all around, Western United States, but let's say California has a problem with its fuel supply. They're limited with the supply, and you want to support California, and you're only an hour across the border. You don't have the ability to truck in fuel because it's a different formulation.
Right.
It's a different spec of product. So you can't bring fuel from a Nevada into California.
Right.
Is crazy, and it creates a lot of supply chain constraints.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's a regulatory situation that was created by the state, which does create problems, although I think they did it from a good standpoint of trying to keep the air quality healthy. But now you couple that with additional layers of taxes and regulations. One of the things that we hear all the time is, why is fuel so expensive in California?
Yeah.
Like, why is it so far above the national average? If you were standing in an elevator and somebody was asking you that question, how would you answer it? Well,
CARB's programs definitely do bring on added fees. So the low carbon fuel standard, the LCFS, CARB's website says it adds 10 cents to the gallon, but third parties estimated is closer to 17 cents per gallon is what you pay. There's also the Cap-and-Trade or Cap-and-Invest program, which I believe is about another 20 cents or so per gallon. And then, of course, you have just your California state taxes on gasoline. I think it's 61 cents now.
And local taxes.
Yeah. And you say 10 cents or so for local taxes, and then the 2 cent per gallon UST fee. So I think it's about $1.14, I think, is what it averages out to be, is what California pays in taxes, outside of federal and all of that. So, it's crazy.
So when you're paying for a gallon of fuel, gasoline, premium, diesel, whatever it is, it's safe to say that well north of $1 a gallon is basically taxes that are created by California, whether it's CARB, whether it's LCFS, low carbon fuel standard, cap and trade, state and local taxes, including excise taxes. You rack all those up and you benchmark that against other states, it becomes pretty obvious why the cost of fuel in California is much more expensive than even neighboring states.
Absolutely.
That aren't oil producing states, don't have local refineries, and are reliant on outside states to bring their product in. So they've already got supply chain costs that California doesn't have.
Right.
And they're still less expensive. For instance, Hawaii.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Hawaii's the middle in the middle of the
Nowhere.
ocean, and very limited with refining and, creating the product there. But somehow they're less expensive than California, which is an oil producing region that has most of the refineries on the West Coast, yet somehow is far more expensive than neighboring states.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. I always wonder what Catalina's fuel is. I wonder what the gas stations there sell it for.
Oh, I know. Like, yeah, if you want to be rich, just sell fuel to the boats going in and out of Catalina. Super captive market.
I know.
Everybody's just so desensitized to high fuel costs in California.
It's like, yeah,